Welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. So this first recipe isn't really a recipe. We're just making BLTs. So I'm starting out by putting my bacon on a couple sheet pans, and I like to preheat my oven like as the bacon is in the oven so that the fat can render a little bit better. So my oven is completely cold, and I tend to cook my bacon at 400 for about 25 minutes, just depending on how thick it is. Normally, I would use parchment paper underneath the bacon as well, just for easier cleanup, but I was all out and I definitely regretted not having any because bacon is always such a pain to clean up off of pans, but we made it work. So just a tip for you, use parchment paper. To go along with, I am making some tater tots. I picked up these Sonic tater tots from Dollar General and they were really good. And then I also just heated up some broccoli and cheese just like in the frozen bag. And this is what we have for this night. Super easy and simple. This next recipe comes from Jessica and Tyler Braun. I will have it linked down below for you. I had cooked up some hamburger earlier in the week just to help myself. And so all I had to do was just dump that in and then dump in the rest of the ingredients. But essentially, it is just like sesame taco. So it's sesame oil, brown sugar, soy sauce, things like that. And then I added some beef broth as well, just to kind of tenderize the beef. But this ended up being really good. My family actually liked it. I didn't care for it as much, but my family did like it and they did request that I make it again. So I'm just going to go ahead and assemble everything. I always make my husband two, and then I'll make my kids one. If they want more, they can always have more. But I'm just doing it super simple. Just the taco meat, green onions, and some cheese, and that is how we ate it. I ended up eating mine on the 0-carb tortillas. They're only 25 calories, so if you're worried about that, then that's just an option for you as well. Go along with this, I also made my kids some strawberries and I just put some honey on them. Usually they won't eat strawberries unless they're sweet, and since strawberries are not in season here in Missouri, I did add a little bit of honey and they actually really liked it. So just a little pro tip for you there: if your kids won't eat strawberries, just add something sweet to it. If you make anything from this video, let it be this recipe. This is honey lime chicken. So basically we're making a marinade here. I've got some chicken breast. I always tend to get the thin cut just for easier. I just like those better. They cook a lot more even, and I don't know, that's just what we like. So I've got some chicken breast here. I'm just putting those into a gallon-sized bag. And then your marinade is a bottle of the Italian dressing. If you watched my grocery haul a couple weeks back, I got this Great Value restaurant style Italian dressing that's supposed to be like a dupe for Olive Garden, and I would 100% recommend this. It was really good. So I think it was only about $2 versus like a lot more for the Olive Garden brand. But anyway, it's the Italian dressing with some lime juice and honey. And it sounds so simple, but there are so many depths of flavor in this. I'm telling you, you have to try this chicken. I also sometimes get questions about this little measuring cup. This is a 4 tablespoon measuring cup, and I use it for so many things. I actually got it as a wedding gift when I got married like 7 years ago. So I don't know if they still have them at Walmart, but that's where my friend got it. I'm sure they have them on Temu and Amazon and everywhere else, but If you can find a little measuring cup like this, I highly recommend. I use it all the time. We were planning to eat this chicken on salad, so I'm just making up some homemade ranch dressing. So I'm just doing, I think I did half a batch this time, so it's half a cup of milk, half a cup of mayonnaise, and then 1.5 tablespoons of the ranch powder. I get this ranch powder at Walmart. It's the Great Value brand. It tastes just fine, and it's so much cheaper, so I do recommend. But I like doing my ranch just like in my Magic Bullet blender. Makes it so much easier, and all you have to do is make it about 30-45 minutes ahead of time. The more in advance that you can make it, the better. The more it sits, it tastes a lot better, but really 30-45 minutes is fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and make that, and then I have these little restaurant containers that I pour them in. But so for the salad mix, I just got some shredded lettuce, just iceberg, and then I like to mix it with butter lettuce. We really love butter lettuce, and so I just mix that together. And then I had some leftover shredded carrots in my fridge I want to get used up, so I throw those in as well. And then I had to pick out some of the brown pieces because Walmart produce sucks, but it is what it is. So then I'm just going to put it in this bowl and shake it up. And I thought I got a clip of the end result, but I guess I didn't. So here is me cutting up the chicken. I cook my chicken in the air fryer at about 360 for 10 to 12 minutes, just kind of depending. I use my meat thermometer to make sure that it's cooked through. And then I always let it rest, and then I will cut it into strips. And you can see on the side there on that plate, all of those juices that this created. And like I said, this chicken was absolutely delicious, and I'm actually planning on making it again this week. So this next dinner, I'm cutting up some potatoes. I'm just using yellow potatoes, and I'm going to cook these in my air fryer. These are my new way to make potatoes. So you just chop them up into bite-sized pieces, and then you just add a little bit of olive oil and then an onion soup packet. You just cook it in the air fryer. I usually do like 380 for probably like 20-25 minutes. Potatoes do take a long time, so they do have to cook a little bit longer. But anyway, I am also making cheeseburger sliders. So again, I had made some hamburger earlier in the week just to make things easier on myself. So I just had to dump that in and heat it through. And I'm also going to add some ketchup, mustard, and Worcestershire sauce just to give it a little bit more flavor to put on our cheeseburger sliders. So the buns that I got are actually just yeast rolls from the Walmart bakery. I'm sure you can find these at any bakery, but I use Walmart. I'm just going to cut them in half, and I'm actually going to toast them in a skillet. And I did 6 of them with like margarine spread like you would a grilled cheese, and by this time I was just kind of over it. I was tired and I didn't want to do it anymore. So I did half of them with butter, and the other half I just sprayed with some olive oil and toasted them up. Now that all the buns are toasted, I just got some American cheese from the deli. I do think that the deli cheese is always so much better. Plus, it's easier. You don't have to unwrap every individual piece. I'm just putting a layer on the bottom bun. I'm putting all that ground beef on top of it. And then I'm going to put another layer on top of it. And I just bake this in the oven uncovered for like 10 minutes just to let the cheese melt through. Everything else is already toasted and warm. So I just wanted to make sure that the cheese was melted. to go along with this meal, I'm making some green beans. Normally I would do this on the stove, but like I said, this night I was just over it. I was ready to go to bed. So I just dumped the can of green beans in a bowl, put it in the microwave, and heated it up. We've been loving the Glory green beans. I've been talking about them constantly, but you definitely have to try them. And then I wanted to make like a Big Mac sauce, so I'm just eyeballing everything. So I've got mayonnaise, ketchup, spicy brown mustard, which we normally would use just regular mustard, but I have spicy brown. And then I'm also adding some sweet relish, and then I decided that it needed something else. So I went ahead and added some vinegar. All I had was rice wine vinegar, so that ended up being just fine. And then I did add just like some salt and pepper, just a little bit, not a whole lot. You just mix that together, and we use this to dip our sliders in. So here's what it looks like when it all came together. This was absolutely delicious, and my family has been asking for more. So hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. Other than that, see you in my next one. Bye.